Hi, this is a very impromptu late night something or other. I'm just really fucking bored right now because I can't get to sleep even though I have to be up in like 12 hours. Not even 12 hours, like more, or like 10. And I just can't sleep, so I guess I'm just going to talk myself to sleep. I'm sorry if this is extremely boring, but I'm sure nobody's watching this in the present. Maybe someone in the future. If you're watching in the future, hello. Um, Sorry the screen is going to be dark the entire time because I don't want to turn on the light. You know, when I started this channel a few years back, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it. I have literally hundreds of ideas that I want to put into action in some way, but I'm gonna sound fucking uh, like one of those people who always complains. But even though I do have a lot of contributors on this channel, like Doug and Nick, record in that little space I have in my office. Um, I would love to do more with them. Love to do more with everybody that's appeared on the channel, of course, because I would really like C.A.F.E to become sort of like this team effort where everybody contributes and makes videos for it, and almost like a what's the word? Uh, like a commune, I guess, or more accurately, like yeah, I guess like a free streaming service where everybody contributes like their own uh, video series, their own like productions and stuff, and then they just upload it right to the channel. Actually, last year, there were a lot of illusions I was making at the time. I can't remember. I haven't watched a lot of my videos from last year in a while, but like in the fall of last year, I was making allusions to the fact that we had something really big coming up. And actually, I was working my ass off on this project, and it went absolutely fucking nowhere. Um, I, in my school, I was trying to start like, get the theater group, theater club, whatever you want to call it, involved in C.A.F.E, and I was like promoting um, all this shit about like, oh, we're gonna be able to, if we get together and do this, then we can actually like put together a full on show, which would serve as the YouTube channel's Christmas special, and then we would perform it live. Like we would write our own material and perform it live on the campus stage. And actually, I held two two auditions. Only one of them, a few people. Only at one of them, a few people showed up. One of them was Corbin Johnson, who was in the short film before the Idiots in the Room podcast Halloween special. Um, but then the other one, nobody came. I held a big, not really big, but like a Q&A section, ask me anything thing. Um, and like nobody showed interest. Um, I even went as far as to join the school's Snapchat story so I could promote this thing because the campus I'm on is split between two different cities. Um, it used to be like two separate colleges, but the bigger one bought this one out because um, they weren't getting enough students as it was. So this bigger campus, they bought them out, and essentially are sending all of the rejects from their list over here, which is why I am going. I got rejected from the big campus. But anyway, that's beside the point. Um, excuse me. So, yeah, I joined that Snapchat story and I promoted it, and actually, a few people from there showed interest. But then I was told that, oh, we can't do any projects with people from that campus because the budget doesn't allow for it, whatever the fuck that means. Um, that was like a huge pinhole. But I literally started like talking about this thing on the first day of school, and nobody well, like, people were interested, but like nobody had any real interest in it. I, oh my god, I'm so tired. My feeling is like, since it's a smaller school, that's probably why nobody was interested in it, which I totally get. But at the same time, there were people who showed interest, but then they just didn't show up. And it both annoyed me and kind of hurt me that like nobody cared about this thing. Um, but that's kind of why I doubled down earlier this year on making more videos, because I was not happy with the way the content was coming out. I just wanted to challenge myself, see if I could actually do that. If you watched my 6 year anniversary special, you will know that I made a series called Classics by Candlelight. The first 200 or so episodes of that, I produced all by myself every single day. Every single day, like one a day. Um, but by episode like 200 or whenever that first batch what ended, I said, you know what, this is a little too much of a grueling process because I'm doing this every single day. Plus, it was like really quite bad. I had no real audio quality. It was just my phone um, propped up right behind my iPad, and I would just play the music, film on my crappy iPad, It really was a piece of crap. I had dropped it, and we brought it to a repair shop, but they didn't really do a good job on it because, like, um, for instance, for the rest of the time I had it, the home button would always fall out of its socket, and I would have to like wedge it back up to get it back into place, and it was just so annoying. Um, anyway, that's a digression. Um, where was I? Oh yeah, so like half a year later after that, I tried bringing it back, but it didn't last long, predictably. Um, and then let me see. Yeah, so summer 2020. That was when I started Cafe, and I honestly don't know what I was thinking, but I started dividing my time between Cafe and the channel that Classics by Candlelight was on, Chris J Films. And like I was literally making content, in this case, the Idiots in a Room podcast, every single week, um, which I think I'll come back to that in a minute. Um, and then I was doing, yeah, I was I was making a Classics by Candlelight for every single day of the week. But what I did, which honestly was pretty smart on my side of things, was I would just lump all 7 episodes that I needed to make for that week into one day. Like I wouldn't before I was making one episode a day and uploading it on that day. But with this new batch, I took everything and I just did it all at once. I edited everything all at once. I uploaded everything all at once. Like I had multiple tabs open to upload everything at once. Um, and yeah, I had everything like set up to premiere at certain times, and it was honestly a lot of fun, but it was a hell of a lot of work. Um, and then as for the Idiots in a Room podcast, when we started doing the show, we honestly had no idea what we were doing. I had pitched the idea to Nick and another guy who ended up not even doing it, which is fine. Um, that's why the show was originally called the Three Idiots in a Room podcast, because it was supposed to be me, Nick, and this other guy that we knew. Um, but where was I going? Oh yeah. Um, so we had no idea what we were doing. My original pitch was doing something like the Ricky Gervais show, where we just like sat and talked about nonsense for a long time, but then that didn't really happen because we didn't have the third person. So we were just kind of grasping at straws until we could find someone to have like full conversations with, which is kind of what happened in the beginning. Um, episode 5 and 6, I would say, were the best iterations of that format in the earliest days of that show. Episode 7 was a complete dumpster fire. I don't know why I thought that we could do with more than 3 people. I think the max is 4, and even that is kind of pushing it. Anyway, um, we yeah, we were making one episode a week. That's where I was going to go with this. Um, and that was a real problem, mostly because we were using these things as a chance to catch up, because we were in separate places, and we never saw each other in the flesh. So yeah, we that's really why all those episodes just didn't really have much of a purpose. I really did try to theme a few episodes, like the first Halloween special and especially America's Fucked. Um, I kind of regret doing that show. Uh, like the America's Fucked episode, that was just kind of a fucking mess. Even more with the second one, my god. Um, but they're out there, so might as well not take them down now. Um, when so yeah, when we were doing that, we just used it as an excuse to catch up. But since we were doing it in 1 week intervals, fresh. We're talking about the exact same things every single week. Um, which is why we eventually stopped doing the podcast for a few months. We did one episode. We tried it with the video, like the video recording. That didn't really work that well the first time. So I think we had pretty much said, okay, we're just done. We're done with it. Like it's not going anywhere. That was until like I think it was late August of that year, and I sent Nick a text, and I'm like, "You want to do another episode?" And he goes, "I don't think it's working." And I said, "Well, I have some like ideas that might make it better." And he says, "All right, I'll do it on like these stipulations. We can't do it every week. We have to have like some sort of point. We can't just we can't just fuck around like we were doing. Which I mean, we still kind of fuck around, but like not as much. So it's fine, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, we start. He also said that we needed to have like better a better feeling to it, like a less in terms of like intros and music and such. Because before every week had a new intro, so it was really hard to like pinpoint a feel of the show. Like if you were to watch episode 1 and then skip to episode 7, you would see two completely different things, and you'd be like, oh, it's a different show or something like that. It's I don't really like the randomness, so we kind of we made it uniform. Like, oh, every single episode is going to start with this intro. It's always going to have the jazz theme, which actually that's I really am happy that we, especially for just like the channel in general, that the music started taking more of a jazzy uh, tone. I'm not sure if that sets us apart or not. I I don't know. Probably thinking too much about it. Anyway, so yeah, we restarted the podcast essentially, just like from stage one. Um, and we kind of kept up the same sort of thing that we did in episode 15, 16. Episode 17 was weird because like we did we did a trivia game. Yeah, 20 questions about football, and like I thought that would be interesting because it was football season. Turns out Nick knew nothing about football. I guess I kind of made it funnier, but at the same time, not really. I'm not really sure. I haven't watched that episode since it came out. Um, but yeah, we kept doing that until episode, I want to say 25. Yeah, 25. we had meeting up or met up for lunch because he was in town, and we were gonna do a podcast that day. And we were talking about it, and we came up with the idea of just doing like a full on, like starting out with a sketch for the podcast and then just going from there. So we decided, because he was at the time doing news, like he was on his news station was doing sports, and he was like doing the titles for that or something. I can't really remember, but he was doing all the basketball games. So we decided, since it was March and March Madness happens in March, of course, we were going to do something with basketball. And that was our very first, not technically scripted, but kind of scripted episode. Um, and we really liked it. We liked having a theme, like a thread holding it together. And after that, we just kind of went crazy. We did the Easter Bunny hunt episode. We did the time travel episode. We did the whaling episode, and then of course, this was kind of this was I don't want to say it was like my brainchild specifically. Um, it was kind of both of ours, but we did a episode where we went through the multiverse because that's really big right now, or at least it was last year. I don't know how big it's going to be now that Marvel has been like just totally fucking up on a lot of things. But we were like, okay, we're going to do a multiverse plot where we start out uh, in one universe and then we are sucked into, like, every single episode that we've done with a sketch at the start is its own separate universe. And then at the end of the episode, we just get sucked into the first one because that was the end of season one. And we actually had a lot of fun recording that episode. It's it's probably pretty incoherent to anyone who wasn't like there, because we tried to do like different voices and shit, but it's still kind of hard to figure out like what's going on. Fuck. Fuck, I'm tired. Um, and that led into the video podcasts, which we have been doing up until now, and yeah, we really like doing the video podcasts. Actually, it's turned it into more of a situational comedy than a podcast, I think. Um, like we had episodes where uh, we're having a Thanksgiving dinner. It's not even like a Thanksgiving dinner. We had the one where Keegan like murdered somebody, or I can't remember. I haven't seen that one in a while. We had the one where we're like revealing. That was our first episode of the second season. We're spoiling everything that's going to happen in season two, and it's just like completely ludicrous. Uh, More recently, we had the one where we're going stir crazy. Um, we've done a couple with Doug now, where we did the movie episode. We did the miracles episode is actually probably my favorite out of this new batch with all the video ones that we've done so far. Um, and then most recently, we were doing this story arc. I'm not going to reveal anything about the next chapters. We have a few. We have three more left. The next one's coming out on Wednesday. Um, and yeah, uh, that's kind of the story of It's in a Room podcast. I don't even remember. I was talking about Clashes by Candlelight. I didn't finish that story. I'll finish that story quick, and I should probably actually try and sleep. Um, so yeah, when I was doing the newer episodes of Classic by Candlelight, I actually had like good audio quality. I had a real camera filming it, and like I said, I was doing all 7 episodes in one day, and editing them all in one day and uploading them in one day. It was a hell of a lot of work, but it was fun. Um, and then around it was it was around Christmas time. I was actually I remember this specifically. I had a series, like a little mini series inside the series called the concert series. Take a shot every time I say series. Where I would play like a whole symphony or what have you. Um, it- and I was trying to do the Nutcracker. Um, yeah, I was trying to do the Nutcracker, and I had my little candle, set up in one of our Christmas displays, and I had the Nutcracker playing. Um, then the first time I tried to record it, my mom, who was working nights, came home early, um, and just totally fucked up the recording because she came in all loud and shit, and like it just it picked up on the camera. Um, Second time I tried to record it, apparently I had the volume up too loud because my I didn't just get a text or something saying turn it down. My dad came down and told me to turn it down, so that kind of fucked up the recording as well. Third night, I tried to record it. Um, I can't remember what happened, but something happened, and I was starting to get really pissed off. The next day, I said something to my parents like, "Can you guys just like not bother me when I'm doing this? Because like this is I've been trying to get this right last couple days." I think it was my dad who said something like, this is like kind of a stupid idea to be doing right now because you're in high school. You're trying to finish high school, and it's like this is not really the most important thing. Which he was right. But that kind of disheartened me, and I just stopped. I just stopped. Uh, until I graduated high school, and somehow I got a deal with the local TV station to make one 45-minute episode of Classic by Candlelight a week, which was mind boggling to say the least. Um, that was the first time any of my projects got like real solid recognition from, well, anybody. So yeah, I pretty much went to work immediately. That was like my new project, and that's kind of why during the first half of summer 2021, I really did not do anything with Cafe. Um, I was just going crazy on that because like it was even though it was local television, Even though it was local television, television is still television. Um, so that's what I was doing. And then, yeah, I got a. I wasn't working at the time, so I got a job, grocery store. Um, and pretty much all my time was dedicated to that. But I still made time to do that weekly episode. And then I got moved to the cashiering from the produce department to the cashiering department. That's a whole story in itself, but I'm not going to tell. Um, yeah. When I was in the cashiering department, I had no energy for anything after my shifts ended. Like, literally, I was just dead. So I tried my best. I really did to make those episodes, but after the Halloween special, I just conked out. I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I emailed the guy that was producing all that, and I said, I'm just gonna hold off for a little bit. I'll probably, come back at some point. He's like, okay, cool. Um, and then we ended up moving houses to that apartment that I was in for just a couple months, and I barely did anything there in terms of videos. And I sent another email to the guy saying, I'm not going to risk burning down a brand new apartment. Because it's one thing if, like, it's one thing if it was my own house. Um, I mean, it's still pretty extreme, but, like, that's just my house, that, that we could, easily put out. If I were to burn down an apartment building, that's not just my house, that's eight other people's homes that I would be burning down. I didn't really feel comfortable with that, so I just said, I'll wait. And he was cool with that. Never heard back from him. I wanted to do more of the show, but I never heard back from him. And at that point, I just said, well, you know what? I just don't have the energy to do it because I'm already working on C.A.F.E, even though I wasn't really when I moved into the new house. Um, Turns out the reason I never heard back from him was because he was in like a major car accident. He was walking down the road and he just got hit at 60 miles per hour, and he was fucking wheelchair bound. So that's why I didn't hear from him. So I totally get that. Um, but yeah, that was just kind of the end of Classics by Candlelight. I have not made another episode since 2021. Would I like to? Yeah. Do I have any feasible way of doing it on my own? No, not really. Well, I mean, yeah, I do have a feasible way of doing it, but like, do I have the passion for it anymore? Not really, no. It's just one of those things where, like, you either really want to do it or you don't. And I don't. So I guess take that for what it's worth. Um, so yeah, I guess I just explained the history of two series. I don't know, maybe if this is popular, I'll do another. Probably won't be, but maybe I'll do another live stream some night. Maybe I'll actually do like a real live stream. Um, anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for listening to me ramble. Um, I wonder if this could be considered like a Joe Para talks to you kind of thing, where I just like speak my mind for 30 minutes or so. That could be interesting. Huh. All right. Well, I have class in the morning. I should really actually try and sleep now. Uh. Oh, I guess someone's watching. I didn't even see. Well, I don't know how long you've been watching, Jenkum, but I'm just about to leave. So if you've only been here like a minute, I'm sorry. We'll probably be able. You'll probably be able to finish or like watch the whole thing once it's done. Um, but yeah, for anyone in the future that's watching this, thank you for watching. Um, okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right. Good night.